Imagine yourself being back in the school classroom and you had to sit at your desk listening to your teacher talk and write on the blackboard for an hour straight. This is the only style of teaching that they use, which is kind of a one-size-fits-all approach. If this learning style doesn't work for you, you might experience frustration with understanding and processing information. As university students, we all have different backgrounds and ways of learning. Students in schools will enter with an array of diverse backgrounds. They will bring different experiences, learning styles, and strengths. Therefore, it is important for teachers to adopt a flexible and accessible teaching approach. This is known as inclusive education. It requires teachers to adjust the curriculum using a strengths-based approach that is tailored to the learning needs of each student. So, how do we incorporate new ways for engaging students with their learning? I am going to show you an online resource called the Learner Variability Navigator, abbreviated as LVN, which is an open access tool developed by an organisation called Digital Humanities. The LVN tool translates the science of learner variability into easily accessible learner factor maps and strategies to improve educational project design and classroom practice. The aim of the LVN is to strive for accelerating education innovation and provide equitable learning opportunities for all students through the use of technology. The LVN follows a model for what we call the Universal Design for Learning, abbreviated as UDL, which is one method of implementation for practicing inclusive education. The overarching objective of UDL is to disestablish a one-size-fits-all teaching approach by eradicating any barriers for students accessing learning. Here are some highlighted UDL features that demonstrate innovation in the LVN. What I have found most innovative about this tool is that it allows teachers to see how students learn in multiple ways through a simplistic and interactive model that uses evidence-based research through a visual representation on the impact of factors for learning outcomes. As an example, I will select the Maths Grades 7 to 9 model from the navigation bar. As you can see, it includes an infographic visual representation on the impact of factors for maths outcomes. When I hover over to the learner factor elements, you will notice that one element selected will highlight the connections of factors across the whole student. Strategies can then be selected that are supported by digital scholarship that include methods for implementation such as collaborative problem solving. Another visualization tool of an animated color-coded brick line is then shown, which represent the relevant factors for learner variability. You can see that some of the examples here include overcoming adverse experiences, the math learning environment, physical well-being, sense of belonging, and so forth. As I scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the Research Map link, it takes me to another visualization map for selecting a topic that refers me to relevant scholarly sources. There is also a link to the Digital Promise Resource Repository website that uses software for collating, curating, and preserving digital material such as reports and publications that are easily accessed. The Learner Variability Navigator tool using the UDL approach has demonstrated to be a beneficial tool for providing students with an abundance of opportunities that showcase connections to their strengths and interests through the means of technology. There is scope for future research where a similar navigation tool could perhaps be created using the Digital Promise LVN tool as a model within an Australian context for conducting a pilot study for assessing the effectiveness of using a UDL Navigator tool for executing inclusive teaching practices. Doing so will allow any gaps on equality to be filled for students accessing enhanced opportunities for learning. So, if you trace your memory back to your years at school, what learning styles did you find work best for you that perhaps should have been incorporated more interactively in the classroom? With my own preferred styles of learning and diverse background, I wouldn't have felt a loss of concentration or have fallen asleep on my class desk if inclusive education was practiced during my time at school. Remember, inclusive education equals big smiles all around for every student and teacher. Thank you for watching.